Observe this man closely. His eyes have seen violence. His nose has breathed corruption. His mouth has whispered both love and betrayal.
The trailer for Bernardo Bertolucci's The Conformist highlights the characterization and emotional journey of its protagonist, Marcello Clerici. As portrayed by Jean-Louis Trintignant, Clerici is a unique example of the anti-heroes that populate mid-20th century European cinema. The primary theme behind Marcello's journey is seduction. Throughout the film, he is willingly or unwittingly seduced multiple times on personal and social political levels. This stems from an incident from his adolescence in which he was involved in a sexual encounter initiated by Lino, a chauffeur. The shock of the adult's advances culminated in young Marcello shooting Lino in a panic, causing him to feel shame over the perceived murder and the immorality of engaging in homosexual relations in a time when Italy's morals were governed by Catholicism. This motivates him to pursue what he perceives to be a normal way of life, which he confides to his friend, the blind intellectual Italo Montanari, and a priest.
You've really made up your mind then? What do you think marriage will get you?
I don't know. The impression of normalcy.
Normalcy?
Yes. Stability, security. In the morning when I'm dressing. In the mirror, I see myself, and compared to everyone else, I feel I'm different.
What do you see in Julia?
I don't know. It may be her body, her sensuality.
Oh, yes. And she?
The minute we're alone, she wants to fool around. I'm going to build a life that's normal. I'm marrying a petty bourgeoise.
Then she must be a fine girl.
Speak out, go ahead.
Mediocre. A mound of petty ideas. Full of petty ambitions and prejudices. Yes, she's all bed and kitchen. I want to be excused by society. Yes. I want to confess today the sin I'll commit tomorrow. One sin atones for another. It is the price I must pay society. And I shall pay it.
Are you part of some new sect? Do you belong to a group of subversives?
No. No. I belong to a group that tracks down all the subversives.
Ego, te absolvo a peccatis tuis.
Marcello is assigned by his superiors in the fascist secret police to participate in an assassination mission against his former teacher, Professor Luca Quadri, who has fled to Paris to speak out against Mussolini's regime. Under the guise of taking Giulia on a honeymoon, Marcello's devotions are tested when he meets Quadri's young wife, Anna. Although she deduces his intentions, they form an attraction for each other, in part due to their differences. Anna stands by her convictions, and in Bertolucci's words, represents everything he refuses to be. Anna also bonds with Giulia, seeing her naivete as an attractive quality that allows them to window shop and dance together in public, and experience sensual intimacy in private. The love triangle between Marcello, Giulia, and Anna causes him to consider sabotaging his mission for Anna's sake. Marcello is brought back to his original goal by his assigned comrade, Manganello. After stalking him through Paris, he confronts Marcello and uses the notion of courage, stating that he would only be betraying himself to ensure his compliance. After Marcello learns where the Quadris are planning to escape to, he and Manganello drive to a wood where the couple is ambushed. During the assassination, Anna runs to Marcello's car, crying for help. Rather than demonstrating any kind of courage by shooting her or trying to help her escape, he keeps his door locked and cowers before her, further ambushing her before she is killed by Manganello's thugs. Several years later, following Mussolini's overthrow, Marcello and Italo encounter an alive and impoverished Lino. Aware of Italy's power shift towards communism, Marcello accuses Lino of killing the Quadris and denounces Italo as a fascist. As Lino flees and Italo is swept away by a crowd of protesters, Marcello sits alone before looking towards the camera. The narrative purpose of Marcello's journey is to demonstrate how a single incident in youth can affect an individual's perception of life and other people, and how these psychological wounds can be nurtured by political systems that seduce them into compliance. In this case, the chance meeting of an impressionable youth and a deviant adult results in the boy's subversion, changing his life forever. Because of how he conducts himself to hide his true intentions, Marcello's character is riddled with contradictions and an overzealous desire to be part of the crowd. He is so used to being seduced by ideas and people that when he discovers that the catalyst for his conformism is a falsehood, he does not hesitate to participate in a new power structure. However, the fourth wall-breaking final shot suggests, like a man turning away from the wall of Plato's cave, that Marcello may be ready to abandon the shadows of his past and impart what he has learned onto us, the audience. While these qualities do not make Marcello the most likable, sympathetic, or active protagonist, his evolution allows the audience to consider their own susceptibility towards seduction, the events that have led them to where they are in life, and the moral and political values that they hold.